Hey there, do you feel small and insignificant? Do you feel like you've been undervalued your whole life? Do people sometimes mistake you for a rock even though you definitely are not a rock? Then you might be a mudcrab. Mudcrabs are Skyrim's, I was gonna say weakest inhabitants, but that doesn't feel right. They are Skyrim's most underestimated inhabitant, because I firmly believe that there's more than meets the eye with these little buggers. I can't definitively prove it, I just know. But I'm going to do my best to show you, which is all you could ever ask for. First of all, let's think of all the possible bounty missions in this game for a second. What are the possible targets? A bandit leader? A forsworn leader? Then be small potatoes. But then you got giants, and also dragons. But there's one more possible target. The juvenile mudcrab. At first you're probably thinking, yeah, but that's different. That's not elimination. Varia just wants one so she can learn the secrets of the mudcrab and domesticate them. But is it? Because if you go through that entire fishing bounty questline, it ends with this chick just opening her very own Varia's crab shack, selling the disembodied remains of what she calls lovely clawed creatures. That's like me saying, I love dogs, but you don't see me opening a dog meat shop. Yeah, she has a pet mudcrab that follows her around, but I think this is more of a keep your friends close but your enemies closer kind of situation. Because Varia and I are like-minded people in that we both believe the mudcrabs are selling more than just Krabby Patties, if you know what I'm saying. So let's go on a journey together and observe what we can about mudcrabs. Clearly this isn't the first time an adventurer had thought that filling this mudcrab bounty would be easy pickings. Chances are the naive hunters came to this location, saw the giant ass mudcrab, then died by shitting themselves to death. And this happened twice. Or maybe the mudcrabs were defending their young and attacked like a herd of angry elephants. It's up to you. But I don't think it's fair to assume all mudcrabs are so simple-minded. I believe they have an inquisitive side too. If you have played the Dawnguard DLC, there's a point when you have to recruit Soreen Gerard, another mind cursed with curiosity. Her whole deal is that she had a bag full of Dwemer gyros, and she suspects the mudcrabs have stolen them. So you go down to the river and you see this to be the case. Now, were the mudcrabs truly being mischievous, or were they driven by the same curiosity that Soreen was? We may never know, just like we may never know why dogs lick themselves. Are they grooming, or did they just forget what they taste like? Your guess is as good as mine. Kind of bland. But this isn't the only time that shows mudcrab's mental acquisitiveness. Here we have an overturned boat. But it's not just any overturned boat, it's my favorite overturned boat. Because if you look under it, you'll see a pair of mudcrabs with a few possessions. A scimitar, some luggage, and a very curious book. What story could this possibly be? The human hand would suggest another animalistic act of barbarism. Like a red guard came ashore here and was attacked by mudcrabs. After all, this shore does have a history of violent mudcrab attacks. Or maybe some mudcrabs sailed here with the hopes and dreams of becoming the very first mudcrab nightingales. Probably not, that's a different random book every time. If that is the case, then it just goes to show that the level of ambition within these little guys goes beyond where their little claws can reach. And I think that's something to aspire to. But not all mudcrabs want to unlock the secrets of the Dwemer or become agents of Nocturnal. Some just want to live a simple life in peace. Like Old Salty here. Old Salty is a named mudcrab that resides on the north shore of Solstheim. But having a name isn't the only thing unique about him. Because if you take the time to actually look around the shack where Old Salty lives with his family, you'll see that's one of the few mudcrab settlements that doesn't have any kind of human remains. No signs of violence, no nothing. In fact, the only thing that you will find here is a family of mudcrabs trying to establish an independent docking bay through honest hard work. Which is okay, there's nothing wrong with wanting to live a simple life. And another thing you'll find here is a map of Skyrim with Windhelm singled out. Maybe those two aspiring mudcrabs from the overturned boat are members of Old Salty's family. They left the family business to chase their dreams. They set sail from here and overshot Windhelm and landed where they did. That would be a pretty cool story. But as I mentioned earlier, the mudcrabs are the little guys. And the little guys tend to be taken advantage of. And that's especially true in the case of Sevier. Sevier is another person that recognized the mudcrabs had some kind of untapped potential. And unfortunately, he tried to weaponize that potential. Much like the same way John Hammond tried to take advantage of dinosaurs. Just Stay with me. Both Xavier and John were successful in their experiments, but ultimately it bit them in their asses when Xavier was mauled to death by his weaponized mudcrabs, and John's whole Jurassic Park debacle happened. The point is, they were both so preoccupied with whether or not that they could, that they didn't stop to think if they should. Because if you mess with the little guys too much, what happens? They even the playing field. And how did Mudcrabs elect to do this? By inventing their own bombs. You don't see wolves or bears utilizing pernicious pottery. Hell, not even trolls with their opposable thumbs can be this diabolical. But ultimately it was the Mudcrabs' own quest for retribution that led them to their own downfall. Because much like Xavier and John Hammond, they too were destroyed by their own creations. But what made them come to this? What brought them down to our humanistic level? Was it curiosity? Was it a lust for power? Was it greed? Or are Mudcrabs like Elphaba? They didn't want any of this, but they became wicked because we made them that way. Because we couldn't look at Mudcrabs any other way than we have always looked at things different than us. Down. My point is, it's easy to judge. It's very easy to judge. We say we don't do it, but we do. Hell, you're doing it right now. You're judging whether or not you should subscribe to me. And it would be awesome if you did. And I'm judging whether or not I could get away with putting another Ted Lasso quote in. And I think I'm gonna do it.
Be curious, not judgmental.
But you're going to be judged. It's gonna happen. It's as sure as death or taxes, whether it be by a random person on the streets.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Huh?
Or by yourself. Especially by yourself. Self-doubt goes beyond the human condition, but sometimes you just gotta ignore that and take a leap of faith. But being judged is out of your control. But what is in your control is how you let it affect you. If you let it stop you from doing the things or taking the steps that will make you happy. Want to go back to school? Sign up. Want to get a different haircut? Try it out. Want to have a drink with an Ash Guardian? Well, maybe not that one, but you get the point. Letting judgment get to you is the quickest way to extinguish that spark of madness that lives within inside you. Instead, be a mudcrab and reach out for things that others might consider out of your reach. What are you afraid of? Thank you and take care.